You're not gonna say hi to your friend? Hey, AT2.
What's
How
up,
are you?
TJ?
How are you?
Good, good, good. I was just telling the people, like, at the end of the day, look at this. They look at me, y'all. Look.
I love you. Enjoy your night off.
Couples go through shit. See, they working it out. It's a work in progress. TJ is taking the night off, and then me and Jag are gonna concentrate on other things, and we got a lot to discuss. So y'all gonna be entertained. But tonight, you ain't gonna see them fighting and stuff like that. But I did warn the people, Jag. I said if y'all end up fighting, this time I'm letting it play out. I ain't gonna
Good for you. It's been great for Messi, hasn't it?
right. You resurrecting them channels.
Lazarus, come forth.
So I actually stole your approach yesterday. So, I told the people if they wanted the link, if they wanted to, say whatever, they got to go ahead and Cash App you to get the link.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I said they got to be ready for the smoke too, depending on what they want to say,
You know me. You know me. I'm liable to do anything when it comes to that. You owe me. You already know. I tell you one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Part of the reason why I was a little late this evening is because me and TJ discovered some very disheartening news, which is also part of the reason why I insisted that we go along with the plan that we talked about and her definitely taking the night off. She's very heartbroken right now. It's funny how no matter how adversarial a couple can be, all it takes is another adversary to remember to bring y'all right back together, that you're in this fight together and it's you against the world.
Right.
And I got something that I really just, if you'll allow me to say, I want to thank you for your professionalism.
Thank you.
No, you have always been very professional with me. I want to thank you. And I hope I don't put you on the spot, but the work that you've been doing with TJ behind the scenes has been amazing. And she's learning the platform, and she's enjoying it. Like, the difference between TJ and the man that I'm still legally married to is that I would have to fight him and beg him to get interested in what we were doing. And TJ she gets enthralled. She loves getting in that YouTube studio. She loves going through the app. And your help has been paramount. And I thank you so much.
You're welcome. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to help, so y'all can do it on your own. You don't need nobody. Just like yesterday, everybody was all like, "Oh, AT2, you the manager." No, obviously they didn't watch the show. I said they don't need no manager. They could do this on their own.
And you did more than that. You doubled down on that reality by offering help and assistance when it was needed, and you did it free of charge. And thank you for believing in Teach. Thank you.
Of course.
I really wish we could say the same about our former channel manager.
Do you think that he tried to help, or do you think that he tried to handicap you guys to always depend on him? Let it out, Jag. Let it out.
My beef with him started because of Michael Braggs and Adrian Deontay Lewis. I had no idea who the boy was, but I heard everybody talking about him, and he was an op and he was a this. And they framed it up so nice for me to dislike him because I didn't really get to see any of what he was doing until he started working with that man who I'm still legally married to. And that was all negative and all lies. So when, they started spreading the rumors around about him having the big HIV,
Mm-hmm.
And they started with the name Denades. They asked me to back them blindly.
Mm.
And they used, his content with that man who I'm still legally married to, as the fuel to gaslight me into taking on that fight with them.
Right, because you didn't know who he was,
Not at all. Not at all. But then again, I didn't know who Legina Gold was until Adrian Deontay Lewis and Michael Braggs brought it to my attention. Anywho's
yeah, because it sounds like it's always like, them two introducing like a new character to you. And then somehow, do you think they were trying to help you with a storyline? Because let's be honest, Jag doesn't need a storyline. The storyline is her. But it's always like they had to involve new characters.
That part. They wanted to introduce stories into my life that they could control. So they would always be attached to the content. That's obvious and clear now.
Right.
But when Donat said what he said about my son, that, of course, emboldened my blind stance.
Right.
It was TJ that told me that I should have a talk with him because she remembered hearing about where the fallout between he and Michael Braggs began, and it all started with Michael Stovall.
Yes, that's what he always said. It started with Michael Stovall.
And what a lot of people don't know is while the Michael Stovall thing was happening on the platform, Adrian Deontay Lewis was grooming Donat to take over the lituation so he could move Michael Braggs out.
Oh, I heard something about that. He was trying to get, Donat was supposed to be like the new person or whatever, and they're supposed to be collabing and stuff. Yeah. And I think like they were trying to develop some kind of relationship, if you know what I mean, too.
Whatever happened, from that falling out, the troll farm got engaged. They started attacking and ripping apart. And by the time it all made it to me, and then that thing that he said about my son, Giovanni.
Which was so disgusting. Like, how much did that hurt you? Like, I know that had to hurt.
A lot of people like attacking me by using my firstborn son's demise as fuel. I've learned to numb myself to it so that I won't constantly be enraged. What made that bad was when we heard it, we were in Louisiana and Sam was sitting there with me, so he listened to it. My son heard him say it. And when I looked at Sam, a little tear just ran down his cheek. And that's what enraged me.
Wow. I can't even imagine that. Somebody saying that about your brother. Your brother. A complete stranger on top of that, saying something like that. And you having to see your son hurt. Oh.
So, of course, that once again emboldened my disdain. As everyone saw here online, after TJ encouraged me to get to the bottom of it, and she showed me where it all started. She said, baby, you shouldn't even be a part of that lawsuit because it never had anything to do with you. They used you as the big gun to guarantee that they could get rid of him. And I'm like, well, then I need to go back. To which I apologized to him publicly for defaming his character. He apologized to me for making that story up and blaming it on my family. And we agreed to create an alliance to make change, to be an example that two adversaries can find common ground, forgive each other in a loving Christian manner, and move forward and do something positive to make sure those things don't keep happening on this platform.
Right. It was going to turn out to be a great movie, so we thought.
Well, Unfortunately, no one knows grade and fame better than me. I've been famous for most of my life, and I've been around famous people all my life. Not too many people can say that they saw Teddy Pendergrass alive in the flesh while he was able to stand on his feet and once he went into the wheelchair.
Wow.
I'll never forget when I went home and I took that man who I'm legally married to back home. I drove him down Lincoln Drive and I showed him where Teddy Pendergrass crashed. And then I told him the real story of what happened that night, and I didn't leave out any of the truth, even though the news did. I think I'm going to save the Teddy Pendergrass story for my story time with Jaguar on Coffee, which I'll be bringing back later this week.
Yes.
Actually,
definitely be tuning in for that.
Yeah. And now that I've had this conversation, I made up my mind. That's going to be the next. Yeah, we're going to do the Teddy Pendergrass story. Anyway, needless to say, I know fame. And that boy wants to be famous more than anything. And what he wants more than being famous is to be more famous than me. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with aspiration. I think it's great. But what he's done, see, you know me, AT2, I'm very calculated.
True.
And everything I do for a reason. And yesterday you asked me a very significant question. And that question was, why did I hook up with Donat? And I said, it was a move.
You did.
So watch me work. Let me tell you what the move was.
I want to know.
Though I accepted his apology and he removed me from the lawsuit, he did do it without prejudice. So I knew that if he wanted to change his mind, as he typically tends to do on the whim of an emotion, he could put me back on the lawsuit. So I decided to create a little back door to his plan. And that back door was this: befriend him, gain his confidence and trust, allow him to believe he's gained yours, give him access to TJ's channel and see what he does with it. See, one of two things is going to happen when you give somebody a lot of rope. Either they're going to make something useful out of it, like a climbing ladder, or they're going to turn it into a noose and hang themselves. So Donat Ricketts, here is our finished business. Me and TJ went into the studio after you helped her get into the area that she needed to get into, which of course Donat did not tell her. He went in, he unwrenched people, including me. I was a managing mod when TJ's channel started. He took away my managing.
So he removed you from being a mod?
I was still a mod, but not a managing mod.
Oh, but not a managing mod.
So I didn't have the ability to grant wrenches, even though it is our channel.
Wow.
He blocked, I don't know, some 500-600 subscribers.
Oh my God. And I was even on that block list. That's how I know.
Well, you're not blocked anymore, darling. And thank you for your assistance in making that happen. I wish you weren't so busy so we could give you a wrench. But
I know I got my own stuff going on.
You're so busy. But if you ever should find a little extra time, we'd love to have you over at T&J and the Jaguar Wright channel.
Thank you.
Yeah, which of course, when you start blocking mass subscribers, it knocks down your numbers and it slows your ability to continue to grow at whatever fast rate you were growing.
Right.
So I've said all of that in a very logistic manner. AT2, for your audience, can you break down what I just told you in plain language?
Yeah. So basically what Jag is saying that the former manager tried to sabotage TJ's channel. Now, this is the thing. Now, when you block somebody, it does take away subscribers because basically it pulls their subscription from your channel. Also, it lessens your engagement. People can't comment, can't say anything. Like, I honestly became a member yesterday of the TJ's channel, but she couldn't see it because I was blocked. So that lessens your engagement. Now, if somebody is with the fuck shit, that's one thing. But he literally blocked me and probably other people for no effing reason.
Oh, a lot of people. Matter of fact, he blocked all the people on TJ's channel that he blocks on his own. Mm-hmm. Now, to be a channel manager is one thing, but you are neither T nor J. And then you sat there and pretended to the world like you were helping us, like you saved us, like you got us monetized, and you did this and you did that. You did none of that, and you know it.
And he always said, I own the Jaguar Wright content. How did you feel about hearing those words? He owns the Jaguar Wright content. Is he saying that he owns you like a slave? That's what I hear when I hear own, a slave.
Well, if he does believe that, then I would have to say he's delusional. And if he's not sure about that, he should ask Adrian, Deontay Lewis, and Michael Braggs. What happens when you get too comfortable with my motherfucking name?
Better ask somebody.
Then you have the audacity to start making videos trying to make it seem like you were slighted by us in some way so you could play hero while you're still sitting on that money from that GoFundMe that I told you I did not want. I don't know.
You did not start the GoFundMe. It was him.
Yeah. I went on my Instagram page and made it very clear that me and TJ decided against GoFundMe since there are so many scams surrounding it, and we would continue our $1 per view campaign.
Right. And didn't I told my audience also, like, listen, something's going to go awry. Like, we already seen the GoFundMe shit happen, and now it's going to happen again. And then because you guys don't ever start it yourselves, there's always somebody else. And then when they get mad at you, oh, it was a scam.
Yeah, but how is it a scam when my name ain't nowhere near it?
That's true.
My bank accounts are nowhere near attached. My hands never touched any of these GoFundMe's money. How am I scamming anyone?
That's right.
Oh, wow. Oops.
Hair flip.
La 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 nigga.
So, Jack, I have a question for you. When you were in jail, like, did they put money on your books and stuff like that?
They put money on my books every week.
Okay, so you did get money on your books.
And the only reason that was done was to make sure that I never got suspicious, which also made them look better when they went after Shalana Hunter. Because they're like, we put money on her books every week. You didn't do nothing. You ain't set no phone call. You ain't do this. And then you sat over there and you did this. And then you tried to demand our money. And, I mean, it was the perfect frame up. Take all of the theft responsibility, place it on Shalana, and then y'all two bail me out and make yourselves look like the hero so nobody bothers to go back and ask about all those cash apps. I need to hit my quota every motherfucking night.
Right.
A woman got on our channel last night and she showed us the cash apps that she said.
Her name was like Miss Red Pill or something like that.
Yeah, Miss Red Pill, yeah.
Yeah, she said like a couple of 50s, money to the GoFundMe, and she said she asked for the receipts.
$200 in cash apps, and the rest went to GoFundMe.
And the shirts too.
Oh yeah, that too. Which I still haven't gotten one. Which I ain't got a free Jag t-shirt.
You ain't got a free Jag t-shirt and you free. Like that's
nigga.
Ain't that something? And that
Everybody's
lady
got
was
an
not
angle.
from the former manager's channel either, right? Because I know some people are gonna be like, "Oh, she probably came over there from that channel." She was just, you didn't even know her. I never seen her before. So that wasn't a setup or anything like that. That was legitly, I had never seen that lady. I don't think she's even tied into anybody. Like, she just came up on her own.
I think it's time that the YouTubers start to demand that Michael Braggs and Adrian Deontay Lewis start producing receipts from their Cash App log. From the time that I went into jail until 3 weeks after I was out of jail, when people have been sending us messages still saying that they were sending money for us, for me, after I was released on June 1st.
And I want to know something too. Did you ever see like any of like the accounting or anything like that, as far as like what people were sending to you?
Never. They
Because
never
then
turned
how
over
are
any
they going to
logs.
issue a lawsuit against you? Like, because are they trying to say you stole some of the money, or
I don't
because
know
what
how.
happened
I
to a
never touched
lawsuit?
it. I never touched it. And more importantly, neither did Adrian Deontay Lewis. The only person that put their hands on any of that money was Michael Braggs.
Oh, so only Michael seen had access to the GoFundMe.
Yeah, Mr. I lost my phone in the ocean, but I'm still on the same phone.
Not the same phone. Oh, wow.
I'm glad you clapped. You cried. I'm glad you. The one time I talked to him while he was in Mexico, this motherfucker called me and he was sitting there at the club trying to turn some nigga on and the shit wasn't going right. And he was so drunk, he fell down and bust his ass. And I'm sitting there listening to him. And I'm like, hurry up, Win. Laugh, Win, before everybody laughs at you first. Next thing you know, the phone went in the ocean. After he cried about how terrible his trip was. I'm glad you had a bad trip. And I hope you caught an STD while you were there.
Oh, no, not, well, I hope he got his penicillin shot already.
Let it burn. Just let it burn. Please let it burn. Ooh, I hope your dick is burning, ho.
Jack, I have a question for you. Did you
With
ever
a very
feel
spicy lifestyle? Best regards to you and Soular.
Oh, we gonna get into that. We definitely gonna get into that. But I want to ask, did you ever feel like either one of those people were your real friends? Because I always said out of both of them, I felt that OKP, or AKA Michael, was your real friend compared to Dookie Way.
I don't think either one of them knew how to be friends to anyone. But as much as either of them could be a friend, it was Michael.
Okay, I agree.
It was Michael, which is why it's so disappointing to see what he's doing now. It's just disappointing.
Did you love
By
Michael?
the way, it's the anniversary of his godson's passing. He died from a fentanyl overdose in a hotel. Well, actually a motel, getting high with his friends who let him sit there in a coma for 8 hours and then expire. And they didn't even bother to call the police. Condolences, Michael.
Oh my God, I never knew that. Oh my God.
That's why I came back online. I wasn't in touch with anyone. But when I heard him talking.
Oh, because you were gone. And that's why you came back. You know, I never got to ask you why you came back. But that inspired you. You seen him, and then that's why.
I saw him in pain. And I thought about all the times that he talked to me while I was still in mourning for Giovanni. I think the reason why it hit me so tough is because when we did spend time in Las Vegas together that one time, That young man was with him. And they came to our hotel suite. I made us brunch. He ate his ass off, that young man, and we talked about his future and fentanyl.
Yeah. Really sad.
So yeah, that's when we re-engaged, and it was Michael that convinced me that I needed to come back. And I was back that next month in October, and my first online appearance on YouTube after being gone for 18 months was on Michael Bragg's channel.
Oh, it was on his channel. Okay, so it wasn't on Nosy's channel first. It was on his channel.
Yeah.
You know, I wanted to ask you something about going to Nosy, not into the breakup and stuff like that. But remember at the time, you were cool with Willie Vanilli, and then you were cool with Nosy, and you never took a side. But it seemed like, you know, you just went ahead with Nosy's channel and just stayed over there. Like, was there something that drawn you to Nosy that was like different, or?
Actually, no, there was something that made me back away from Willie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
See, this is back in 2020, 2021. See, y'all don't know nothing about this.
Exactly. Vintage YouTube.
Right, vintage YouTube. Yeah, so you said there was something that made you back away.
Yeah. Willie started becoming a little bit too possessive of Jaguar Wright content, and I said, this is going wrong. And like I do with anybody that I no longer deal with, I cut all contact. And I never spoke about him again. This is the first time I've actually spoke about Willie in 2.5 years.
Wow. I haven't heard you say anything. That is true. I haven't heard you say anything about him. I don't even think he's on YouTube anymore.
I have no idea where he is, but I hope his misstep with me helps him take better steps with other creators in the future.
It's funny that you mentioned that he was controlling, but do you feel that Michael and Dookie Way were controlling as well too? Like you went from a controlling and
absolutely.
Yeah.
But I had to, because I always suspected them of being ops.
Because you guys always weren't cool. Like it was a journey.
Actually, people keep saying that we've been cool, and then we fell out. That's not true. Michael Braggs was doing negative content on me up until Tasha K doxed me. He got my number from the doxing. He called me. I greeted him with kindness. And then the relationship. Oh, yeah, that's how I met Michael.
Okay.
The first Dox Nation.
The first Dox Nation.
It's how I met Michael Braggs. And we became cool. And then pseudo friends, YouTube friends. Because there's no way we could have ever been real friends with what he's doing now.
Right. And didn't y'all even team up and press charges on Toxic Diamond when you were in Vegas?
Yeah, but unfortunately, he decided to double down on his friendship with Tox when he realized I was about to go off the grid. He still calls her his friend now. And good for you.
Right.
I'm happy for her children. Hopefully they're in a loving home where they don't get beaten.
Oh my God. No, okay. Next topic. So, you know what? Let's talk about Toxic. Where did your relationship with Toxic Diamond go wrong? Like, because y'all were never like friends. I didn't have a relationship
with her at all. I saw her in the algorithm, and it wasn't until Marley Green, the sex worker, told me, Jag, you need to go look at her channel. She's got like over 100 videos of you. And I said, what? And I went over to the channel and I'm like, this hoe is crazy. She's talking like she know me. I didn't even know she existed. I said, I don't even like her name. Who needs a fucking Toxic Diamond? And then from there, that was her engagement. And I don't need you to like my name, and I'm doing videos about you 8 times a day. Like, and then
And
that's
then
when
you was pushing the shopping cart with a white man on the street.
See what I'm saying? I'm so numb. I'm so numb to all of those lies. But the funny thing is, regardless of whatever lie she told about me, it is still not as juicy as the truth about her. Oh, you got beat up by a clerk over a Snoop Dogg wine cooler at 2:30 in the morning with your minor child involved. That sounds a whole lot worse to me than a shopping cart and some random white guy.
Okay,
you got your ass whipped over a Snoop Dogg wine cooler.
Not the Snoop Dogg wine cooler at the 7-Eleven. All right, moving on from toxic. I kind of wanted to talk about today some of the things or interviews that have been going on. I'm going to start with Soular first because that one is interesting to me. So I guess Soular is working with OKP now, and they're doing some kind of he's talking out, but you've always talked positively about Soular. You even know his real name. You called him Courtney, right?
Yes, Courtney.
So when was the last conversation you had with Soular? And then where did it all go awry? Or like, were you shocked to hear that he was speaking out?
I was very surprised. Yes. Not shocked. I'm not shocked by what anybody does in the YouTubers. I'm not shocked at all. But I was surprised and a little disappointed. He has so much potential, but he's driven. He's driven to become something that I don't think he's ready to accept the responsibility for. And that's why I chose to play auntie, and I chose to be counsel, and I chose to be there. All I can do is pray for him and pray for those kids. And I pray that Velvet has a healthy baby. And that's all I got. That's all I got.
Right. And you guys never had a sexual relationship, right? Because people think
not.
you kissed them and all this other.
Absolutely not. And it's ridiculous. And it was ridiculous that the man I'm still legally married to pushed that narrative because he knows it's not true.
He did. That is right. Yeah, he did push that narrative like you guys had something going on and all this stuff.
It was more likely of the two of them having something going on than me and that young man. They spent more time alone together than I spent with him.
Oh, really? Wow. Well, that's interesting because I remember that's when we first kind of seen you and Goomba have like real problems, because I remember a lot of people bring this up that you swatted Goomba. What you were doing was a wellness check. It was at the time you were on the phone. It
wasn't me.
It wasn't you. Weren't you on the phone with the police?
I wasn't on the phone with the police. I was on Instagram with Michael Braggs. And he tapped in because he saw I was crying and in distress and just talking about how I couldn't stand the fact that that man I'm still legally married to kept brandishing guns on me and Courtney. Queen Quiche is the one who called the VA, and then she called the police.
Oh.
She's the one.
You were on the phone with the VA. Excuse me. You were on the phone with the VA and saying he needs mental health.
And that was 1 month later.
Oh.
When the police came to the apartment, I was with Courtney, and he stayed with me because I couldn't go home because that man that I'm still legally married to was threatening to unalive us both.
Right. But wasn't your family there though? Like you weren't concerned for them?
My mother and my son. You think I would do that to them? I didn't even know that the police had gotten there until they called me. I told them the truth about what happened. He talked them down because he was saying all the right things, and they laughed.
And I know he was mad at you too.
And yet he was mad at me, but it wasn't my fault. Queen Keish called. Now, people keep also forgetting the fact that 13, 14 hours after that was when that shit happened at the barbershop, at Legends Barbershop with Bobby.
Yes.
The call to the VA was after Angela Owusu was staying with us. Angela Owusu was not around in January. So this is the part that bothers me. All of this shit is documented. All of this shit is time-stamped and dated. All of this shit is on major platforms where you can look and see when it happened, and yet people still keep coming up with these false narratives.
Okay, that was the time when Angela was around.
Understand this. Courtney was with me when the police breached the apartment because Queen Keish called. A month later, that man that I'm still legally married to tried to abuse me in front of Angela Owusu in the car while I was driving, which is why I said, LaGina, call the cops.
Oh, my God.
And this was on the way to church. Didn't you? And I had to kick him out of the car and leave him there. And me and Angela Owusu went to church without him, to which he walked to his so-called butt brother, Michael Rose's house, who only lived about a 20-minute walk away.
Wow.
Now, it was after that happened that I called the Veterans Affairs and said, y'all need to come get him. Because at this point in time, he was constantly harassing and terrorizing all of us for a month straight.
Right.
And all of that's documented on YouTube, except for the fact that all of these lying, lazy YouTube CCs keep, I don't know, getting their months and dates mixed up.
That is very interesting. So with Courtney, aka Soular, you don't have any issue with him. Whatever he feels like he has to say or need to say, go right on ahead.
I believe he's
basically
doing it for money, and I believe it's because he's under a lot of pressure with the 2 kids and all of the negative attention around their births.
Is he living with Michael?
I have no idea. I don't speak to either of them. I actually, baby, when did we call Courtney last? Like 2-3 days ago?
Oh, this is recent.
Yeah, I left him a voicemail and I said, I'm not upset with you. I'm not angry with you. I just want to know why. You can tell me what it is and I'll be fine with it, because you got to do what you got to do. You got to live your life just like I have to live mine. I would just like to know why.
Right.
He's never returned my phone call.
That is crazy.
I guess it's the shame of it all. Well,
do you feel like they honestly need to be deprogrammed or reprogrammed? I don't know.
Every last Carbon Nation member is still suffering from Stockholm Syndrome and looking for a new leader. Which DJ Buttnaked was auditioning for.
Oh, so do you think Genesis was supposed to be the new leader?
Absolutely, which is why Nature Boy is going to be turning over her name to the federales.
Wait, they turned her into the feds? Shout out to Genesis if she's still here.
Boy, allegedly, from one of my sources where he's at, he's already named people and members of Carbon Nation because they're turning his case into a RICO case.
Oh, what? Wow.
Real life street star, real fake street stars really knows how to pick them, don't they?
No, Real Life Street Stars. They were in here earlier.
A wannabe cult leader, a psychopath who abuses animals and whacks off on camera in front of toddlers. I mean, they've had some really great talent this year, haven't they?
well, let's go ahead and skip forward to the Real Lyfe Productions. Shout out to them. So you feel like, do you feel like they were helping you out?
Y'all. This is what I got for y'all. And if you ever come through another one of my lies, I'm gonna burn you down. I mean, they shouldn't be. I removed them and we blocked them.
Where did the relationship go south from? Is it when they had put out that footage that you were working on for a documentary? And then...
Oh no, things started falling apart between us when they started interviewing my husband and filming him behind my back.
This was the first time you were in jail, right?
No, that was when I was in the hospital.
Oh, hospital. I'm sorry, hospital.
Yeah, at the Martin Luther King, and then I got locked up, but I was only there for 24 hours. And then it was funny. Every time I went to the hospital or I went to jail, they were filming him. Almost sounds choreographed. And every time, Jag, we didn't even know you were in the hospital. Jag, we didn't even know you were in jail. Everybody in the fucking world knew. Oh, well, you know, we really don't pay attention to other YouTube content. Pussy, I am the algorithm. Your videos are in my algorithm. There was no way you could even go and check your own content without seeing that headline. Who the fuck do you think I am? Some idiot fucking Dallas bitch? I'm from North motherfucking Philly. I can smell a fucking scam and a setup a mile away. You slow country bumpkin motherfuckers think you got me beat? Oh, and Rook, fuck you, bitch. They blamed it all on you, didn't they? They say it was all your idea. And then you blocked me out of the chat so I can't comment on your content?
Have you tried to call them, Jag?
Yes, on 15 different occasions. Adrian Deontay Lewis was present for 5 of those phone calls. 2, only 2 were answered. And that was right after I got out of jail, to which they tried to pretend like they had just found out and they were going to release the content because they wanted to make money to put on my books in jail and help with my legal defense. Well, you put 2 of the videos out and I still haven't received the dime, you cheap bitches.
So you never received any money from them?
No.
Oh, wow. Now, can you say what the project was that you were using that footage for initially?
It was the mock-up to create the trailer for my autobiographical movie. Which I was going to bring them in as producers.
Did you guys ever have any contracts or anything like that?
No, I don't really do contracts.
It was all kind of verbal. Like when you work with a content creator, you're just like, hey, I'm going to do this, you're going to do that kind of thing. The agreement
was I would fuel their platform with knock it out the park content, and they would produce my podcast and we would share the content equally. So I find it funny if that was the case, why haven't they cut me a check?
Do you feel that you were just used for content?
Absolutely.
Now, as far as like the how do I put this? Do you feel that some of the people that they interviewed, like, it was suspicious, or like, did you ever kind of question it? Because even with the Goomba, you did end up doing another interview with it was you and Goomba. So, you know, did you forgive them? Like, I'm trying to figure out like where exactly.
No, the content was contenting.
Okay.
Regardless of how I felt about the way they were handling their business, I put the product first and my personal feelings aside. And I said, I don't agree with you moving forward with this, but this is what we can do. We can pivot here. We can get this done. We can do this. We can split it 5 ways. And then this way, everything's Gucci. All sins forgiven. They continue to conspire with that man I'm still legally married to behind my back. They knew everything that he was doing because they were encouraging him, including the car bombing.
Wait. So are you saying allegedly they tried
They
to
have footage